Hi, it is summer, it's heating up, and with higher temps, especially if you're in the South like us, comes a lot of nervousness around the heat in our babies and their car seats, especially if we don't have those overhead vents, as well as road trips. And there's a lot of safe and unsafe things we can do on road trips. So Kendra here is our favorite. I'm going to let her fill in the CPST.
Child passenger safety technician.
Which means car seat guru and car safety guru, as well as a pediatric physical therapist like me. I'm Kelsey, founder of Compleo, and I'm excited you could chat with us today.
Yeah. So we're here in Texas, based in Texas. So we get lots of high temps, super hot. So one of the biggest things that parents are concerned about is their children overheating in their car seats. And like you said, a lot of cars now are starting to go more towards having some ceiling vents. But a lot of just like two-row cars or sedans or trucks are not going to have ceiling vents in the backs for your kiddos. So there are a lot of different things you can do. Some are safe and some are not safe.
So let's start with the safe ones. Because I know my car actually doesn't have overhead vents, and especially on road trips, I end up like pulling over to make sure he's not like sweating or overheating. So what are some of the safe things that you can do to keep them cool in the back seat, especially if they're rear facing?
Yes. So there's a couple really good products. There is kind of, if you think about it, like a cold pack or an ice pack, and you can put that in your car seat when you're not in it. So this is something that will keep the actual car seat cool while you're out and about, or if you are on a road trip and you're taking a break at a park or things like that. So you never want to use it with your child in the seat, but it's a great way to keep that seat cool, which will also your child be cooler when they're riding.
I actually talk to you all the time and have not heard of that one. So learn something new every day. And then what about I've seen it's kind of like a vent that
The noggle.
The noggle. Yep. Is the noggle a safe or recommended?
Yeah, the noggle's a great way. So what the noggle is going to do is it is going to attach to your rear air vent, and then it has a hose that can reroute, and you can route that near or by your child's car seat. That's a great option for like trucks. So my husband has vents that attach to the floorboards, and it will reroute air to the back. So not perfect, but still better. They also sell, like if you have in your windows the reflector that goes on your windows to keep your car cooler, they have one of those that has elastic and can go over your car seat to repel some heat. You use it similarly like the cooling pack. And both of those products are linked in our Amazon storefront under car seat safety. So again, those are great options to keep the car seat cooler, but you do not use them with your child in the car seat.
What about if you are going on like a longer road trip? Do you kind of just trust it, or do you recommend pulling over every so often to make sure that your child's not overheating in the back, things like that?
Yeah, recommendation is stop every 2 to 3 hours. And that's for any child, any age. Yeah, in a car seat. You want to get them out. You want to get them moving. Most young kiddos who are going to be rear facing, it may coordinate with feeds every 2 to 3 hours, things like that. So it's always a good rule of thumb on a road trip with kiddos who are in car seats every 2 to 3 hours. Get out. Yeah.
And then as we start to think about our toddlers and our older kiddos, there's lots of things that I have found that aren't tablets to entertain Scotty. He's 5 now, but we take big road trips every year. So the toys have changed over time. Some of them I still think are great. Some of them, since meeting you, I think were maybe not the safest decision. So what would you recommend as kind of guidelines if you're deciding which toys and play items to surprise them with on their road trip?
So when you think about anything that you have in your car that's not tied down is going to be considered a projectile. So with cooling things, the little stroller fans, things like that, while those may be great to keep them cool, if you were to get in an accident, that is a hard piece of plastic that can be thrown around your car. It could potentially hit your child. So now the reality that you will have your entire car completely free of any projectile and everything strapped down.
I've never successfully done that.
No, but when you think about toys and things that are going to be near your children and maybe in their car seat or that they play with, you want things that are going to be softer, that aren't going to be that hard plastic. So like the squigs that are soft and silicone, crinkle books for your babies, things like that.
The busy books, the soft
ones. The busy books, the soft books. things like that. I do know kiddos, magnet tiles are great.
I said we loved to do magnet tiles on a cookie sheet or a cookie pan. Like,
and that
what do you
in
feel
theory,
about
if they're
that?
on a cookie sheet, they're going to be they're going to be stuck to it.
Yeah.
So the likelihood that that's going to be a true projectile is less, but that is the risk with bringing anything that is free and floating around in the car.
Right.
Coloring things, colored pencils are sharp and hard. And so thinking about colored pencils, that for us is kind of a big no-go. Crayons are obviously better, but in the Texas heat, they may melt. Yeah. So you kind of have some limited options with coloring. That's why like water wows are better.
Yeah, we love the water wows. Those are always a favorite.
The little brush can be stored in the compartment, so that can be tucked away. In our car, we have a bin that sits in the middle seat for our two kiddos that they can reach, but it's a soft bin with soft toys. And so that's kind of how we mitigate a little bit of that in our car.
Yeah. And we have one of those bins also, and it's been my favorite for road trips because half of it we keep their toys and the other half we keep diaper changing things. Just everything you might need without having to dig through the diaper bag in a back makes the road trip go so much easier. They're not like screaming for snacks while you're trying to dig and find them. So
and snacks, suckers, hard candy, much more of a risk for choking. My personal kind of general rule of thumb with food is I don't do a lot of sticky foods, hard candies, and then you want to make sure that it's foods that your child is comfortable eating, that you know that they can eat, that they're not going to choke. Like we don't try new foods in the car, things like that. Right. And so you want to limit that as much as possible, but every kiddo has road trip snacks. I mean, we have road trip snacks. So you can't completely get rid of that.
I think it's so unrealistic. We're like, as adults, we want road trip snacks and all those things. And I think there's so many things out there where we're trying to get our kids to do something that we would never do ourselves. Yeah. And I mean, that goes with activity, behavior, emotions, road trips. Like, stop and think, as an adult, would I be willing to do this? Yeah. Well, then I'm not going to ask my kid to do that.
So there are also like silicone water bottles that have they're a silicone cup, they're a silicone lid, and then they have a straw. That's a much better option than your hard, big, chunky Yeti kids water bottle. So there are lots of options to give your kids toys, food, more air that are much safer in the car.
Any other just things to consider as we enter the season of road trips and heat in the car? What are your recommendations? Do you like the little baby mirrors? Do you like the window covers that make it darker? Do you think those two things, yay, nay?
So again, it's a non-approved product. It's technically projectile, so there are some safer options. So there are car mirrors that are soft around the edges and not hard plastic. And then there are window coverings that are like a cling. So they cling to your window, and there are some that suction and pull down. And again, those have hard plastics. And so the types of products that we like that are safer are all linked in that Amazon storefront. So the window coverings, the mirrors, all of that are listed as well.
Great. Well, thanks. And if anyone wants to know more about car seat safety, Kendra has put together an amazing class that you can get online that goes through all the car seat safety things, when to switch car seats. And if you have any questions, comment below.